band will continue nevertheless. And we're not going to change sound. We're not going to change our style. I just hope the fans going to give us a chance and see that we're not there to die yet.
Hello, you Metal Pilgrims, and a very special welcome to all thrash metal fans. For today on the show is nobody else but the legendary Schmier of Destruction. Schmier, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you, man?
I'm doing good, thank you. How are you?
All is well, man. I'm back. It was the very first time, the borders were open, so we were able to go on vacation with the family. And I'm finally back, so we put the show on hold for 2 weeks. So I was actually able to go and relax, in Turkey.
It's good after all this lockdown. It's good to go out and feel free again.
Absolutely, man. I think we're all very fed up with all of this, right? And all we want to do is, go back to our normal lives at this point.
Yeah. It's the same here. I mean, we're having the first festivals this summer now. We just played one already, and I've been visiting a festival this summer here in my region. And this month in August, we have 6 major festivals that are going to be pandemic versions, a little smaller, a little different, but
still something at least.
Yeah, I mean, we had the first shows were like it's vaccinated and tested and already recovered people, kind of regulations.
Yep.
And it worked really good, in Austria, no masks were needed and it was open air, so it was actually cool. So looking forward for more and hoping that the governments will not shut down everything again.
Yeah, man. Fingers crossed. I think all are eager to go back to real life, real festivals, real concerts, and enjoy metal the way it's supposed to be.
Man. Yeah. Also, at the end, we're humans. When you lock us down, we're going to get depressed,
Exactly.
I mean, a very sad example is Mike Howe from Metal Church.
Man, this is terrible.
He was one of the most healthy guys that I know, He never drank, no drugs. He had a family and everything. He had a great band. And he committed suicide, What the fuck, And also, he's not the only one that killed himself in the last 1.5 years on the musician side, And it's going to come more and more that people get depressed, get anxieties and stuff. So we need to get out there. Whatever comes next, even if there's the next wave of Corona, we need to live again, and find ways to live with the pandemic and not lock us down all the time,
And I think that at this point, I'm not one of the the crazy people who are going proclaiming that it's going to be the end of the world unless we vaccinate or anything like this. But I think at this point we all have to do our part, at least wash our hands, and be a little bit smarter about all this stuff. Because, this stuff is real. Whether we like it or not. And we all have to do our part to get it over with as soon as possible.
At the end, this is all no surprise, we're killing the planet.
Exactly.
And this is what happens, This is like a natural selection. The planet strikes back, It's always been like this. And also in Germany, we have big flooding. Now in South Europe, it's like burning everywhere. Nature strikes back, we have to stop killing the planet. We have to be more friendly to the planet, more friendly to each other to survive, Otherwise this world will go to hell. And nobody believed it yet. But now we have the obvious signs that we have to do something.
Exactly, man. I was just telling you, right? I was in the south of Turkey just a week ago, right? Last week, and it was all burning down. I could see the actual cloud, and it's a snowball effect. The more we destroy the forests, the more of them are going to get burned, right? It's that simple. So we all have to do our part and be a little bit smarter about the way we live.
Exactly. First of all, our governments have to, agree on a healthy way of saving the environment together, because it doesn't help if Europe is doing something and America and China and India don't give a fuck.
It's one planet, man.
Then it's one planet. It's the same boat. If it's sinking, we should all paddle together.
Exactly, man. So Schmier, before we go on to discussing anything else, the most anticipated current thing about Destruction is the release of your new live DVD, Live Attack, which is going to be out on August 13th, I believe, right? First of all, congrats, man, on finishing it up. And so can you take us back to, when was that? The end of 2020, right? And speak a little bit about that live stream and how did this idea arise? How was it playing it overall?
Basically, it was the only way to connect with the fans. When the pandemic started, I wasn't a big fan of live streams, but the pandemic went on And the frustration went on. And in December, when there was the full lockdown everywhere, we said we have to do something. And so we had the idea to start the new year, 2020, with 2021, with the live stream. So we on the 1st of January, the live stream was online, and it was basically for us a chance to play live again. It was also connection with the fans. It was a huge set list that we have planned. And if you see the show also, it's all the songs are connected with each other. There's no like big gaps or awkward moments where there's like silence in the video. It's like kind of well put together, I think, and it has the best of Destruction live. It's got a very raw, pure live sound. I think hearing a band in the live situation is always the most honest way to listen to a band, and it cannot replace a live show, but it can give you a good live feeling. And for us, it was important to survive this pandemic, to connect with the fans. And the DVD now, the Blu-ray that comes out, is basically the demand from the Die Hard fans that said, please, I saw the live stream, was great. Can you please do a DVD or a Blu-ray with it? And that's what we did. I know this is not for everybody. This is for the people that really want to see it. And for us, it was just one little way to protect us from the pandemic, to go through, to still play music, to be able to do something. The worst thing in the pandemic is to sit home and do nothing.
Exactly.
So that's why we did the live stream. In some years, I will look back at the live stream and say, hey, this is a document of the pandemic. It's something that made us survive the pandemic back in the day.
That's awesome, man. So after 39, back then 38 years, on stage, how do you come up with a set list, for a show like this? I mean, is it collective thinking, or is it you, kind of putting your foot down and selecting the best songs you want to play?
It's actually we asked the fans on social media. We have a very good social media contact with the fans, and we said, let's see what the fans want. And there was some surprising songs in the set list demand, but it was nothing that was really super surprising. So it was a good teamwork. I think the fans and us together, we kind of made a cool set list that hopefully will satisfy most of the people. I mean, in almost 40 years, you cannot have all the songs that people want. But I think it's the essence of Destruction. It's 50-50. It's like 50% 80s songs and 50% of the last 20 years.
Yeah, after you came back to Destruction. I was actually able to, both listen and watch, the show a bit earlier and then most of others. And I gotta say that, at times I was actually forgetting that it was a live stream and not a real show. You guys did an amazing, job on this one. The stage, the production were just, it was mind-blowing. And the way you personally connected with the crowd, as a frontman, I imagine it's gotta be somewhat different. You're used to, seeing the feedback, but doing it through the screen, it might be a little hard.
It's I prepared myself for this. That's why we also played those intros, so there's not a total silence. And I prepared myself a little bit. I watched some other live streams, see what other people did, and I saw some live streams where I was like, okay, I don't want this to happen in our live stream, so we make it differently, And at the end, it worked great. And I could also focus on the show pretty well. I know from some friends of mine that did live streams, they warned me before. They said, dude, I lost it. After a while, I couldn't focus anymore. And then I wanted to talk to the crowd, and I was like, I didn't know what to say and stuff. I know you got to stay focused, and we were prepared for that. So it kind of worked well. But live stream is nothing that is so nice to do. It's something that you do because the fans are sitting home and they want to have some music. And at the end, we also knew that there would be some 1,000 fans at their screens and waiting to see this, so it was kind of motivated for us. But in the end, it's nothing that you want to do all the time. We want to play live in front of a crowd, get the energy back from an audience. This is like the extension of energy is the main thing about a live show, especially thrash metal. And that, of course, wasn't there. So that was kind of a little weird. But on the other side, we're like professionals, we're doing this for a long time. So it wasn't so hard it wasn't as hard as we thought in the end.
And I gotta agree with you, man. And I always say that on the show, right? Whoever is the guest, I always say that I personally believe that rock and roll and heavy metal, thrash metal, they live in sweaty clubs and on festivals and not really in a digital world. Yes, live streams and all of that stuff is okay for now because this is the closest thing we can get to actually enjoying it together. Yet we all are eager to, go back to real festivals and drink beer with a stranger or cranberry juice. No one cares what you do, right? I mean, you guys were actually lucky enough, and you started speaking about that, right? To play the first live show, when was that? A couple of days ago, just now, right? To hit the stage. So,
3 weeks ago in Austria,
yeah. How did it feel, man? I mean, were you still a little conscious of everything? Or once you saw the stage, all of that pandemic life was kind of left behind you?
It was... At the beginning, it was a little surreal because once we entered the festival, everybody, had their proofs that they were tested or vaccinated. Mm-hmm. There was no more masks, and then you saw all those people with no mask, and you're like, "It's just weird," And it took a little time to get used to it, but the show itself was really relieving. Was great. Was fun. Felt very natural back right away, and also you could see the reaction from the fans, the happy faces in the crowd, and we also went out into crowd afterwards to shake some hands and watch some other bands live also, and it was a fantastic feeling. It was the best day since 2 years basically.
Exactly.
It was that good.
That must have been awesome, and I cannot wait to go back to seeing live bands, right? And on this show at Area 53, you played without Mike Sifringer, and then you later on kind of shared some news about Mike leaving the band. So can you just shine very briefly some light on what's going on with Mike and the band at the moment?
Yeah, I would like to know myself too, but it's not it's a very difficult question because he disconnected from the band some months ago already.
Oh, really?
It means we went to the studio, recorded a new album, and he didn't come. At all? He didn't come to the. We did like demo sessions, writing new songs, and he didn't come to write songs with us. And after I tried to face him with the problems, he disappeared and he kind of disconnected with us. There's definitely some deeper problems. I don't know yet. We still give him a little time till the 19th, till we have the press release. And nevertheless, the band moved on. We recorded a new album. We wrote all the new songs, and we will also have a special surprise on the 19th. For the fans to show. It's going to continue. We're going to, of course, not going to stop. Mike is a founding member, and it was always important for the band. But if he doesn't want to do this anymore, I cannot help him. And I also cannot look behind the curtain. Nobody can be forced to do what you want to do. For me, it's disappointing in one way. It's also shocking, but I've been in this business for too long. I know those things can happen, and we always told him we're not going to close the door on him. It's his decision, and we will see what happens. At the end, it's a big part on him now. I did what we could do for it, and for me now, I have to survive. I have to keep the band alive, and we had some really difficult moments. The last couple of moments. Keeping the band together, finding a new label also. We switched from Nuclear Blast to Napalm Records also. We had to finish the live album also, even knowing that Mike might be leaving us after the recording, after the release, So it wasn't easy for us, but, I'm trying to focus now on the future of the band, and I'm happy we have a great team around us. We have a great team in the band, and we're all good friends, and what happens to Mike, it's just in his own hands, basically. So we hopefully in 2 weeks we're gonna have the press release with an announcement that exactly shows what's gonna be it for him, at least, because the band will continue nevertheless. Some people said Destruction is nothing without Mike Sifringer, which is understandable, but I'm the main songwriter in the band. I wrote all the Destruction songs. Mike wrote with me sometimes. A lot of stuff I wrote myself, and even I'm not the guitar player, but I'm the main songwriter in the band. So not all the fans know this, but the band will continue nevertheless. And we're not going to change sound. We're not going to change our style. And I just hope the fans going to give us a chance and see that we're not there to die yet.
Absolutely, man. I'm really eager to see what is next for Destruction. But just to close this topic, and I want to make sure that we get this then covered. But you saw that coming, right? It was part of a longer process. It was not a spontaneous out of the blue decision for you personally.
Some fans came to me and said over the last years, "What's wrong with Mike? He looks unhealthy." Mm-hmm. And I try to communicate this with him, his lifestyle. It's always a lifestyle thing. When some people like to live healthy, do sports, eat clean, no drugs, no alcohol, or have at least kind of a regulated life. And some other people like to don't give a fuck about the way they treat their body. And it's kind of obvious if you look at Mike's health in the last years. He didn't want to change his lifestyle. Drinking and smoking and whatever comes in is gone. And when you get older, you got to change something. I always say, I'm not a huge fan of the Rolling Stones, but I think their way of doing it till they're old,
it's freaking incredible.
That I have so much respect for this, because one day in your life you got to cut down all that shit. You got to cut down the drugs and the fucking drinking and the hangovers every day because you want to perform for your fans on a high level, and that's only possible when you have some discipline, And when we were 17, music was fun and was a hobby, and it was great to party, and we didn't have sleep, we didn't care, we could still perform. But when you get older, you need to be, you need to be on top of the shit, and you need to watch yourself. And that's something that I have a different vision than Mike, and that's all I can say about this. He's his own person, he can do whatever he wants, and if he wants to live his life this way, it's his call,
Absolutely, man. Okay, thank you, Sven. And I mean, just to close this, I think I'm speaking from all of heavy metal community and fans from over here. We hope that you will come to some kind of equilibrium and everything will be okay. But we will support Destruction no matter what.
We all hope so. We all wish Mike best of luck, and I hope we can announce at least a respectful goodbye from him. Also respect for the fans, we have our 40-year anniversary next year.
Yeah.
And of course, we would love to invite Mike on stage and jam with us for some songs,
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't want to play thrash metal anymore, he's part of the band's history. And I also wrote all this to him, but there's no feedback from him coming. So we will see. There's still, we wrote him that we need a statement until the 19th of August. That's the deadline when we have to announce something. Fans are waiting. The fans want some answers, and us too, So we will see. Hopefully, we find a little happy end of a not so nice moment at the moment. But that's life, People split apart. People have different ways. People change also, And not everybody wants to play thrash metal his whole life, I guess. And so we'll see, but we hopefully find a good ending for this soon, and then the fans will know more. So stay tuned, and it's difficult for me to talk about this at the moment, also. Absolutely. Because I had some difficult weeks and months in the last, with the uncertainty and the will to carry on, and also Corona on top of it that could put pressure on you all the time. It wasn't so easy. So
and I appreciate you opening up about this, and thank you. Thanks, man. You actually started speaking about this. Next year, Destruction will celebrate 40 freaking years. Can you believe that? I mean, this is.
I don't feel that old, but sometimes I do.
But this is freaking huge. I mean, I cannot believe that. So, what can a Destruction fan expect from you next year? Are you guys planning some kind of, celebration to celebrate the milestone?
Yeah, that would be great. It would be great to do some festivals next year with like a special program, bringing some old members on stage, bringing maybe the Mad Butcher on stage again live, and
Awesome.
having some special 40-year anniversary gigs that people will never forget.
Yeah.
There will be, I think, play Wacken and some other festivals, do some special shows. I mean, we've already confirmed some festivals for next year, and also Hellfest, which is going to be a big show also.
It's freaking gonna be awesome next year.
So we're planning on doing something like that next year. Yeah.
And you mentioned a couple of times, the new release, that the new material by Destruction is coming soon, and you've finished basically, writing it, right? As I understand.
We recorded it already, actually. At this moment, right now, we're mixing the album.
Yeah.
So it's going to come out early 2022. But we're going to have some first songs released this year, some first singles also, some digital singles. So we want to be ready for the back start of touring season next year, 2022. Hopefully we can tour again, and then the new album will be out.
This is pretty exciting news, man. And what can a Destruction fan expect from it? Is it going to be classic Destruction, or are you guys going to experiment a little bit on this one?
It's going to be very old school. I think it's more back to the roots than any other album before, I think. But it will have also some, new guitar influences, of course. There's some more soloing on the album, some more guitar. We have 2 guitars on the album, 2 guitarists, 2 great guitarists also that replacing Mike. So I try to keep the band style alive, keep it fresh. I think that's what I hear when I hear the new songs. They sound like fresh. They don't sound like a band that is 40 years old. They sound like a wild young band, and there's a lot of guitars. People that are afraid that when Mike is gone, that the guitars will be going away. I can say, don't worry. There's going to be plenty of guitars. Destruction is all about guitars, and we will keep this legacy alive, of course.
And this is the first album, studio album, you guys are going to release with Napalm Records after switching, from Nuclear Blast. It's been a while you guys were with them, right? You've been for
22 years almost, yeah.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, how does it differ working with Napalm? Is there a difference at all for a band like you, or not really?
Napalm feels a little bit like, for me, at the moment, like Nuclear Blast was like 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, when there was a good team of metalheads working at the label. They were really taking care about the bands well. I like that my A&R manager, production manager, really calls me every week and asks me for updates and, hey, how can we do this and that, and if there's a problem, we solve it. It's not like here, my way or the highway. It's like teamwork, and that's that was always very impressive about Nuclear Blast in all those years when I was there. And it seems that Napalm is really also has the same kind of philosophy, that you don't dictate the musicians what they do. You work with them to get the best out of them, and that works great so far.
So you were able to do exactly what you wanted on this record without, any kind of micromanagement from the label, as I mentioned, right?
No. It's, since many years we have our musical freedom. Also, we show everything to the label before, and the label has
input.
Has chance to kind of give us like rejection if they don't like something, But we did demos already from the new album. We sent them to the labels, and we said, listen, Mike is leaving the band. But we wrote already the new album, and we wanted just to know this before anybody, and they said, your songs sound great, and we're excited about it. And for me, it's important that the label they need to sell your stuff. So if they have a question or a doubt, It's good to say, But in the end, I think we've been working hard for this, and we've been well prepared also. And I'm glad the label likes the material, so hopefully the fans will like it too.
Can you tell us one craziest story which happened to you with the Destruction on the road?
There's so many.
Just one.
There's so many. Some of them are too slippery. You can talk about them, When we toured with Motorhead, we had so many crazy stories.
I have Motorhead in the background.
Yeah. Mickey D was in the band back then, and no, Mickey D was with King Diamond actually, and that's where King Diamond and Motorhead Destruction toured together. That's awesome. And then we had some crazy parties back in the day, and but I cannot tell those stories. It's too bad, but we had a lot of great times on the road, and I think the stuff that happens to musicians is unbelievable sometimes. You know, you really think it's like Spinal Tap, you know, like you get lost somewhere, the bus breaks down on fire, or, you know, you're somewhere in the jungle in Brazil and you can't leave anymore because your pickup is gone, and, you know, stuff like this. But the stuff you always remember is, of course, the great shows and those goosebump moments when you play in cities where you never played before. Like, I remember the first time we played in Manaus in Brazil in the rainforest. And there was like 5,000 people, like crazy, wild Brazilian audience. That's the moments you live for, and that's the moments you always remember. But I think the moments that you remember best also as a musician are when you meet your heroes, like Lemmy from Motorhead.
Yeah, I can imagine.
The moments we party with Lemmy, and when he invited us for tours and stuff. Those are the moments you will never forget as a musician.
Schmier, thank you so much for your time, man. I know you're pressed on time. Any last message for the fans? Anything you want to share with them?
Yeah, stay tuned. We're going to have the big announcement on 19th of August, also with some surprises for the fans, hopefully. And stay positive. Corona sucks, but metal lives. And, you know, together we can do this and be back on the road soon, hopefully. Maybe see some of you guys on the festivals this summer.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Schmier, everyone. Thank you, and keep rocking, man.
Thank you, man. Stay safe.